yourself? My question is not only addressed to the girls and the ladies here in the audience, although we tend to be more worried about how we look versus the men, but men also lack confidence about their bodies. The big question is, why? Nowadays, every beauty brand advertises products promising perfect skin, perfect hair, weight loss in 2 weeks with a gorgeous tan, blonde, skinny, and muscular model, putting pressure on both genders. But you don't have to go to a shopping center to feel embarrassed about your body. It is enough to turn on the television or take a walk along the streets where huge billboards blast these beauty expectations at you. They promise beauty everywhere. But is this a real representation? Every era has its own definition of beauty, and every era wants to force it on those who are alive at the time. I read an article on a Hungarian news site last week about a biology book for those who attend the 8th grade at a primary school. Stop for a moment and hear what I say. A biology textbook for the 8th graders. The writers included beauty tips for the 14-year-old girls in a section called Health Studies. They stated that it is awkward and downright disgusting for a girl to have hairy arms, not to mention her legs. So they conveniently provided self-grooming tips on how to get rid of the unwanted hair. Ask yourself, is this what a girl should be learning from a biology book in school? The writers also think that having long eyebrows makes your face ugly, so you need to address this too. And if this wasn't enough, they added the importance of makeup tips and the need for regular anti-wrinkle massages. Imagine the break after the biology class, where boys read these things I mentioned. I'm sure at least one of them started terrorizing his female classmates to have smooth arms and legs, to put makeup on their faces, and do something with their eyebrows. At the age of 13 and 14. What will these girls feel? Humiliation. Yes, at a minimum. These abused, and I know that it is a strong term, because won't be able to accept their bodies, but more importantly themselves, for years. I am still young, and here is my opinion about what I consider to be a healthy approach. It's absolutely right for a 13-year-old girl to not use mascara every day. And I think it's criminal if society pressures young girls to ultimately be ashamed of their bodies. The amount of money spent to compensate for these ill feelings harbored by people about themselves is staggering. Think about how often anorexia and bulimia play a role in a young lady's life. Life is already complicated enough with thinking about future university plans, sports, boys, and public speaking. The last thing these young ladies need is added pressure to rob them out of valuable energy that they could use for building themselves up instead of tearing themselves down. There is a well-documented relationship between self-acceptance and stress. As one declines, the other increases. And if a problem increases a person's stress level, it can be a result of the person thinking as if he is unable to cope with the situation. This is followed by failure, and the person ultimately blames himself for the failure. As this process repeats itself, the person sinks deeper and deeper into depression. Just to make it clear how serious it is, depression is a main cause of suicidal thoughts, and suicide is one of the biggest killers of the developed countries' population. As Beyoncé once said, perfection is a disease of a nation, because nobody's perfect, even though we all want to be. And I know that a lot of girls in my generation, but both in older and younger generations too, suffer from trying to be as perfect as the models in the ads. I know, because I'm one of those girls. And I love those ads. My favorite one is where a young woman shakes her smooth legs, promising that they will stay smooth-legged for 2 weeks. This is insanity. How can we be filling our minds with ads like this? How much more time has to transpire before we figure out that this is a race that our girls will never win? How many more people have to fall victim to a poor self-image before we stop poisoning our future generations? Girls and ladies, don't try to tell me that you never dreamed of looking like a Victoria's Secret angel. But these girls make us forget they are unhealthy and make us feel that we look fat. It's not about money. It's about lives. You see one of those lives now. I'm speaking for myself and the names of my girlfriends. We're real. Hell, give us a chance. Nobody has to look like the girls in the ads and on the runways to be beautiful. Beauty is inside us. And if we're serious about happiness, it starts here and it starts with us. As Sophia Loren said, beauty is how you feel inside and it reflects in your eyes. It is not something physical. But being happy with yourself has a physical sign. Because if you're happy with yourself, you're beautiful. Thank you.